Say the weird thing.
Let's just all be gay.
The way relationship is now, man and woman, is difficult for you to find a good man. Men are coming to talk about how women are annoying. Women are coming to talk about how their partner is not just treating them right. But you see a man and a woman, you see two women, they get each other. They just get it. You just, when you're communicating with your friend, you just, both of you just get it. Like you can understand the feeling. Then men always find time to spend time with their guys, and they just get each other. They always have each other's back. So we're like oil and water that don't mix. Let me run the script for you all to watch, and I'll be back at the end of the video.
Say the weird thing.
Let's just all be gay. Let's just all be gay, okay? Because like as men and women, I just feel like we are so polarized, and we are trying to force these polarized ideals on each other. We are trying to have these polarized opinions and ideals about life and relationships. We are trying to have them coexist, and azifuni, guys. Azifuni. Do you hear me? Like, men and women are so polarized on things like trust, loyalty, monogamy, providing, and we are trying to force these things together. We are trying to force X and Y. We are trying to force the minus and the plus together. As phony, guys. Let's just all be gay, okay? Because women can coexist well together and men coexist well together, right? These would be like lovely households, right? Because we are here and we are forcing, and iPhone, guys. Let's just fight against what is this? Let's fight against, people who are anti-homosexuality, the stigma of it. That's the word I was looking for. Let's fight against the stigma of homosexuality, and let's just do this thing, okay?
This video make me remember a video I saw where a straight man was saying he needs a straight man. He wants to marry a straight man because he realized that the home is going to be peaceful. It was just like, I need a straight man to marry. I want to marry a straight man. That he's not gay. He's not gay. He doesn't do men. But it feels like it's better for him to marry a straight man like him, because women and men tend not to understand each other. There's always chaos. But then when you see two men together, they get each other and or they have each other's back. Then two women as well, they're stronger together. And it's just a strange idea. It's not like something that everybody has to agree with. Even me, I don't agree with it, of course. I cannot be gay, and I don't know. So it's just like a strange idea. Like, okay, since we are trying to force this whole thing, if you like, relationship thing, man and woman relationship, trying to force it is kind of so much, and there's so much disagreement. There's so much. I feel like there was a video Priscilla made, and she was like, we women, the kind of relationship we want from men, and the kind of relationship that we have with our girls or our friend that is a woman, we are looking for that kind of relationship from our man, but we can't get it because they are not women, right? They are men. Okay. And speaking of relationship, because women now select kind of men that they want to be with, these men are already, I feel like they feel threatened that how can you raise your standards so high for me not to be able to get you. Unlike before, men can easily just pick on any girl that they like. I like this babe, I want to date her, I want to marry her. They will just go do the normal thing, and most of the time women don't have choice. Even if you don't really like the guy, so far he likes you, and it's okay, easily for them. Unlike now, it's kind of difficult for men, even the one you really like. You have to work so much because women now have raised their standards so high that some men cannot reach that standard, and it's paining them. That's why most of them are coming out, podcasts to start, saying some things about women. Let me roll this clip for you all to watch, and I'll be back at the end of the video.
Something that we're not talking enough about is something that I see on this app, which is these beautiful women that have amazing jobs, amazing lives. They are happy with themselves, and they just seem to not be able to find a partner that they can connect with. And it's something that I think has been a long time coming, and we probably need to address it very soon. This epidemic, in my opinion, of men who feel disgruntled for the wrong reasons. When I first encountered incel culture, when I was in college, I had a lot of compassion for these men. I thought to myself, some girl must have broken their poor hearts. And because society doesn't allow space for men to be able to vent their emotions, this might just be a way for them to do so. And at first it was a good forum for that. You were seeing, men kind of create these mentor-mentoree relationships, but as we've seen with these podcast bros, it's just gone off the deep end. And this rhetoric that they have that, women are only capable of loving the 10% of men and the rest of them get, left behind. And my initial perception of compassion for them has really changed over the years. And especially today, when I saw a video of this girl breaking down, this misunderstanding that we have about these incels being sort of poor guys that have their hearts broken. Because she accurately explains that they're not mad that women are not choosing them. They're mad that women have a choice in general. They're mad that no longer are we in the days where we can just force a woman to just be with any guy, and all they had to worry about is like provide and not be anything else, not be emotionally present, not be a good father, not be a good husband. But now they need to step to the plate, and rather than working on that, and to be fair, I guess, they don't have great role models, but rather than working on that and focusing on that, they're like, oh, these girls just suck. And this was always confusing for me as a woman who grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, so I was never like the top choice in those spaces. And so I very much so understood being a woman that wasn't quote unquote surrounded by men that always wanted to talk to her. And so I was just like toying and playing with guys. Like whenever I heard guys talk about that, I'm like, you're talking about like the hottest girls that are your type and your standard that you cannot attain, but then now you're bitter about. And so the irony was that rhetoric that they were saying about like women only going for the top 10%, like that's what I feel like men do. And so this breakdown from this girl today was so fantastic, but also worrying as a straight woman who eventually wants to have a partner that I feel like is my equal, not just, in terms of the caliber of their lifestyle, but also mentally and emotionally and psychologically. Feels like we are in really tricky times because we're coming to a reckoning about how boys are raised and how much the gap between how boys and girls are raised has, increased over time. I come from a culture where it's so much more explicit. In Nigeria, women are explicitly taught to be good wives and mothers, and you see the dichotomy with how the boys are raised there to just do and be whatever, and they're just allowed to just do crazy stuff basically, and it enables and empowers these men to just have egos the size of mountains and sometimes be horrible to their wives. I feel like in that context it's much more explicit, but I see this in the US as well in just a little bit more of a subtle way. But what I see is women being empowered to just be like, well, you know what, like I'm not going to just pick whatever, like society is not forcing me to, so I would rather be single. And you're seeing a lot of single and genuinely happy women, because we don't have to marry some weirdo just to have a good life and to have a good quality of life anymore. And that is what is making men upset. Yeah. But men, instead of being upset, like there are pathways to do this. Like as women, we had to develop emotional intelligence. We had to develop empathy and compassion for each other. We had to, we didn't, and this notion of women being just naturally good at this stuff, as a woman that had to learn to be around other women. These are all learned things that you teach yourself. And I don't know, I just feel like in general, women, we just have a lot more pressure to be a certain way, and just men never really had to. And that is starting to show now that women have the autonomy that the women before us have fought so hard to give us. We are choosing to not settle. And I'm sad. I'm not going to settle either, but I just want, where are the quality men? Where are you guys? Where are you guys?
Sometimes people get married because of they want some certain quality of life, or you see some parents who push their daughters because of probably they're from a poor background, they are not really okay. Then they go tell their daughters, like, go get married or go marry a rich man so that somebody can take care of you. Or you see women talking like they want to marry somebody just because they want the person to take care of them, to give them some certain quality of life, right? But these days, women are actually giving themselves that quality that they think they can get from a man, right? And I feel like that is actually making these men to be afraid, because now these men do not need us. These men will not need us, because the only thing that they would have need us for is probably to provide, to give them this luxurious life. But then these women are living that life. They are happy and they're being successful, and they're not going to settle for someone that is not going to reach that high standard, right? Because if you've gotten to a particular standard, it's very wrong for you to be with a man that is below your league, right? So you are actually looking high, and most of these men, they are not even working hard to even get to that high standard. So they are not happy. I feel like most of them are scared that they're going to be alone, because the rate of loneliness, male lonely epidemic these days, the way it's rising, they are scared, and they are the one that need women so much more than we need them. I feel like today's video, we're just talking about relationship, man and woman relationship. I have one other video to share with you all. She was saying that men aren't logical, they are selfish. What she's trying to say in the video is, sometimes when something happened and if you talk about it to your friend, a girl, and they be like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, that's exactly how I'm going to react. But when you ask a man or a guy the same thing, they feel like probably you're overreacting, there's something that deep. Like, let me roll the clip for you also. What's going to be the last video we're going to watch today? And I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
Something I will never agree with is the whole argument that women are just these emotional, stupid crybabies that just act off emotion, and that men are these like super smart, logical, like people that don't know any better. Because that is not true at all. And I'm going to tell you the truth. If you're a woman and you have ever had a man in the wrong, and you have every right to be upset, you have evidence, you have screenshots, you have very valid points as to why you're upset. You literally have a paragraph that you proofread multiple times, got other people to read, and they said, yes, you're right, you have every right to be upset. And as soon as you send it to a man, they either ignore you, they gaslight you, they make fun of you, all of the above. They're telling you you're being crazy, you're being extra. They try to play the whole concept that women are just emotional, stupid beings that only know emotion. Men are not logical. They're selfish. Personally, I don't think most men have the same emotional intelligence as women, because they know that your point is valid. They know that what they did was probably going to upset you before they even did it, or if they were thinking about you at all. And it has nothing to do with logic. It has to do with the fact that they wanted to do it, so they did it. They're not thinking of you most of the time when they do fucked up stuff. They're doing it because they're selfish. They're not taking accountability because they're selfish. When you argue with them, they're seeing you as competition. And a lot of men are very competitive naturally. And guess what? They want to win the competition. The only way to win is through manipulation and mind games most of the time, and making you feel stupid. It has nothing to do with validating your emotion. It has nothing to do with that. Plus, I don't know if you guys have ever hurt a man's ego or seen a man with a weak ego get insulted. Have you seen the way they act? They are yelling at people. They are punching walls. What part of logic is that? What logic do you get from punching a wall? That is pure emotion. I'm just saying, next time you think about sending a whole paragraph to a man, sitting him down and explaining exactly what he did, you are not going to get the response you think you're going to get most of the time, because you have the emotional intelligence for that, but a lot of men just don't. So save that for your friends. Save that for someone that could actually validate you. And that's why female friendships are so important. Save that for that. Save that for the journal. Save that for the therapist. But to them, you just ignore them. You just say, you know, I'm not even dealing with this. Show with your actions. Because guess what? When you're gone, where is the chance to manipulate you, to make you feel dumb, to play mind games with you? It's not working on you. And then suddenly they're able to understand exactly what they went wrong because they're selfish. They want you around. They want the access to you. And showing any sort of huge emotion that you're super upset is just them validating themselves. For guess what? Selfish reasons. They want you upset. They want control over you for selfish reasons. Sometimes they don't even like you like that, but they want you around for selfish reasons. So just remember, men are not as logical as you think. They're selfish. And women are pretty logical in my opinion. We just have more emotional intelligence in my opinion.
Where is the lie? I totally agree with her. I personally also feel like some men are not like emotionally intelligent, and most of them are selfish with the way they act, and they try to feel like some women, we overreact on things, and when you even try to explain some things to them, they don't get it. And that is why we'll go to friendship. You need a female friend. Because the kind of friendship you have with your friend, and when you're trying to have conversations with them, you realize that they just get you. Like, both of you get each other, you're understanding each other faster. And in fact, you might even try to react the same way when some matters arises. But when it is the other way, it's as if they don't get it, they don't understand you. Like, everything is just, you know what I mean? And I totally agree with her. And of course, I would like to know your thoughts in today's video. We'll talk about 3 things in today's video. The first one we're talking about, we should all be gay. Do you agree that we should all be gay since relationship, man and woman relationship, the wala is too much? Should we just date each other and we'll just marry each other since both of us, the same sex, understand each other better? Do you think it's okay for us or not? And then men are not happy because some women have raised their standards. Some women are not going to settle, so they are not happy. It's not just okay. It doesn't sit well with most men these days. They are panicking, you guys. And now we know that men are not emotional intelligence. They are very selfish. What is your take on today's video? Let's have conversation in the comment section as usual. And thank you all so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe. It's your girl, Maria Davids. And thank you all so much for tuning in. And I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.